Section 14, Armed Forces and the Police. I was in my office going through old cases when I got a call from Bologi. He requested I come collect my stolen phone. He released it to me on bond, hoping to present the bond in court when I give evidence against the robbers once trial commenced. While we were there, Mohammed stepped in and dropped a file on Bologi's table. "I want you to take over this case," he said. Bologi quickly went through the file. "It is highly classified," Mohammed added, after Bologi finished studying the file. Bologi requested I do the case with him. Mohammed didn't object. All he wanted was results. He was about to step out of Bologi's office when his phone rang. It was the complainant in the case file he just dropped. His name was Femi. Mohammed directed him to meet us at Bologi's office. When he came in, I personally took his statement. Femi was a car dealer who dealt in exotic cars, but his problem started when he decided to buy a Nigerian used car from some guy who sold to him a Mercedes-Benz GLE Class 2018 model. The foreign used version went for 25 million naira, but Femi paid 21 million naira for the Nigerian used version, which to me was fair enough. The vehicle was in his parking lot for a week, and then the police showed up at his place with the man who sold the Benz to him. Femi was arrested on the charges that the vehicle was a stolen one. He was taken to the station. After his statement was taken, a team of well-armed policemen, led by one Inspector Mark, raided his car lot and confiscated 3 cars, which were also Nigerian used. The cars were said to be stolen, but Femi stated that, like the Benz, there was no proof of theft, and that the cars were never reported as stolen. Fearing for his life, Femi did not make any complaint till today, a year after the incident. He was prompted to come forward after he saw the so-called Inspector Mark driving one of the 3 cars removed from his car lot. Femi took pictures and made videos to back his claim. From the information he gave us on Inspector Mark, we were able to establish that he worked in a tactical unit in Lagos State. We quickly moved to his section with a team of mobile policemen and arrested Mark along with his team members. We also dropped a memo to his sectional head requesting he interview the AIG through the AIG's PA, which he acknowledged before we left with Mark and his team members. There were 4 of them in the team. Mark was the most senior inspector and team leader, while a junior inspector was the second in command. The other 2 were NCOs, that is, non-commissioned officers, a sergeant and a corporal. When we got to the office, we separated them before we took their statements, and we made some interesting findings. The 2 NCOs admitted to the crime that Femi had alleged. The said Benz, which was sold to Femi, actually belonged to one of their informants. The fact that the Benz was stolen was a lie. I asked if their sectional head was aware of the scam. They said no. They said they didn't even carry out the job with a petition. Neither did they detain Femi, because if they had, it would have gotten to the attention of their sectional head. The case created a rift between Mark and his former second-in-command, whom he had transferred to the north because he refused to play along. The present second-in-command agreed to the crime, and this earned him his current position and a car out of the 3 confiscated cars. They sold the 3rd car and shared the money with the said informant. The NCOs got 1.5 million naira each from the fraudulent transaction. We sent a couple of detectives with armed personnel to recover the 2 cars from Mark and his second-in-command's apartments. The said informant was also arrested, and the so-called stolen Benz was recovered. Everything Femi had told us was falling into place, but there was another angle to the entire case, and we didn't realize this until we placed a call to Mark's former second-in-command, who was in Kaduna. When I called him, he laughed out loud after I told him Mark's present status. "It took you people long enough," he stated. And then he told me the real reason Mark had gotten rid of him from Lagos Command. He said Mark had made several attempts on his life, and that the first time was when he got a mechanic to disconnect his car brakes. Miraculously, he survived the incident and thereafter tried to have the mechanic arrested. But he found him dead in his mechanic workshop. He also confirmed that Mark had actually had him transferred to Kaduna. I asked him why Mark was trying to get rid of him. He said, "Because I'm the only one who knows that he was dismissed." I was confused at first, till he explained. Mark was dismissed from the police force in Delta State, but somehow he found a way to redocument and redeploy to Lagos using a fake transfer signal. We called Delta and obtained the orderly room proceeding that dismissed him from the force for a similar offense. Section 14 of the Criminal Laws of Lagos State 2015 would have delayed the process of us charging him to court for this offense, because if he was still a police officer, he would have been subjected to orderly room trial and dismissed from the force, which is an administrative process before an NCO or inspector is charged to court. Mark was charged to court immediately based on the present outcome, and the 2 NCOs were witnesses against him. Meanwhile, his present second-in-command was moved to Provost, where they commenced his orderly room process.
This work of fiction is a production of COSPEAKS, composed and written by Chidi Okoye, narrated by Ikenna Igwe, sound production by Glaze Entertainment, graphics by Illustro Kings Creatives, video production and effects by Kings Media, visual and shots by Sheung B. Thank you for viewing.